So a new poll came out, and it appears that Bernie Sanders is the only 2020 candidate that defeats Trump in Iowa. So let me show you this data, because this isn't just about this poll. It's also about how a certain media outlet reported on this poll. So here you go. Iowa poll. This is Emerson polling. Bernie Sanders defeats Trump in Iowa, 51-49. Joe Biden's at 49-51, and Warren's at 49-51 as well. So clearly, as I said earlier in the stream, these are the polls that matter. Matchups in states, in key states. So general election polling, even though Bernie defeats Trump in all those polls as well, those don't really matter because Hillary Clinton also defeated Trump in the popular vote polling before 2016. But what actually matters are each state. How does each state stack up? How do these candidates stack up in each state? So Bernie defeating Trump, the only candidate to do so in Iowa, which is great to see. But look at how The Hill covered this. If the tweet's still up. Oh, it is. Thought maybe they would pull this down since it's so ridiculous. Look at this. Poll. Trump holds slim leads over Warren and Biden in Iowa matchups. That's the headline here. No Bernie. Bernie defeats. The actual headline should be Bernie, only 2020 candidate to defeat Trump in Iowa polling. But no, it's Trump holds slim leads over Warren and Biden, just completely ignoring Bernie once again. This is what a lot of the media does because there is nothing to actually criticize Bernie on, or there's very little to actually criticize him on, especially compared to other candidates in the race. They just ignore him. So you notice this, whether it's on cable news, you notice this in various media outlets. This is how he's covered. He's not, because there's nothing to actually go after him on. So I'm not going to read this whole thing, but like, yeah, it's still like, it's not even just the tweet. It's also the headline here on The Hill. And understand, most people just read the headlines. So a lot of people, they're just going to get that piece of information. They're not going to see the rest of it. I'm sure they'll mention Bernie at some. Here we go. The reverse was the case for Bernie Sanders. Yeah, then why wasn't that the headline? Like, it's just they just keep adding to this idea that is an idea based in reality, that the media is biased against the Bernie Sanders campaign. We see it over and over and over again. This is how they report on him. In fact, I think I have another one. Similar, but different in terms of what's happening, in terms of how the media is covering Bernie. This one right here. Another crazy example. This, you could argue this is actually worse than what I just showed you. So NBC took one of Bernie's best quotes from the debate and attributed it to Warren. So here you go on the NBC news page. Bernie said this in the debate. I believe I covered this in my, I think I did, on my debate wrap up. Blasting a corporate and unfair system. Quote, I get a little bit tired, I must say, of people defending a system which is dysfunctional, which is cruel, 87 million uninsured, 30,000 people dying every single year, Warren said in response to attacks on her support for single-payer health care. And it doesn't end there. So first of all, this is the Bernie quote in case...
People, I get a little bit tired, I must say, of people defending a system which is dysfunctional, which is cruel. 87 million uninsured, 30,000 people dying every single year, 500,000 people going bankrupt. For what reason? They came down with cancer. I will tell you what the issue is here. The issue is whether the Democratic Party has the guts to stand up to the healthcare industry, which made $100 billion in profit, whether we have the guts to stand up to the corrupt, price-fixing pharmaceutical industry, which is charging us the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. And if we don't have the guts to do that, if all we can do is take their money, we should be ashamed about it.
Thank you, Senator.
So there you go. Clearly, it was Bernie's quote, as you just saw. And it wasn't just NBC. No. New York Mag, who I use often in my reporting, the Intelligencer here, they also did the same thing. Warren, I get a little bit tired, blah, 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 blah. Bernie's quote, once again, attributed to Elizabeth Warren. Oh, it doesn't stop there. Boston.com also did it. Even more quotes, even more of Bernie's quote to Warren. Warren later added, a little bit tired of people defend. This is, and then this part too. The issue is whether the Democratic Party has the guts to stand up to the healthcare industry, she said. I mean, this, I don't even know. Like, this should be a fireable offense. And look, I don't want people in the media just to get fired. You know, it's not an easy industry to work in. It's not this doesn't pay well for the most part. But this is horrible. Something like this in 3 different places could absolutely have an impact on the primary. People may read this and think, oh my God, Warren's really taking it to the Democratic Party now. This is amazing. I didn't know she had this in her. I thought she was just going to give in to the party establishment. But it looks like here, according to the quotes here from the debate, she did fantastic. She was talking about how she would take on the party. Yeah. Now, apparently Boston has, Boston.com, I think, has corrected it. I believe it was Boston. Yeah, so they appeared to correct it. Hopefully it didn't stay up too long. But unbelievable. Also a good time to say, hey, if you want to support Bernie, it's good to phone bank for them and get involved. Volunteer, donate, whatever you can. Get involved, help the campaign. Because this is also, I think, a big part of the reason why Bernie's doing so well in Iowa is he has this on-the-ground support with him. He has that grassroots support that is pushing his message out there, especially when it comes to calling people. Because a lot of the same people that are called, you know, through something like this are the same people that are called when it comes to polling. So, I mean, I say this often. I'm not sure how well polling actually represents the younger generations. Because me as a millennial, I almost never answer my phone if I don't know the number. If I don't know who's calling me, I just let it go to voicemail and see who called me. So I think that's a lot of people. And not to mention, if they're mostly focused on landlines and not cell phones, well, yeah, these polls are definitely underrepresenting younger voters, which, of course, mostly support Bernie.